Hi, I'm Dagmar. Lots of you probably know me. Some of you may not. I'm the spiritual healer, teacher, author, and speaker with Soul Matters, always talking about the matters of the soul. And today I felt very compelled to talk to you guys about the coronavirus and the bigger picture and, you know, your personal vibrational tone scale and what you can do about it, how to deal with this coronavirus. There is such amount of pandemonium going on that it just boggles my mind over this, what seems to be, from what I could gather in terms of research I've done online and asking lots of questions, a cold virus, okay? Perhaps a little bit of a stronger one that seems to be combined with flu, cold, and pneumonia that attacks your lungs, but nonetheless, it's a cold virus, and yes, it seems to be spreading a little bit faster, but I am totally mind-boggled around the chaos that we're experiencing right now. And so, the big question is, why is there so much more pandemonium about this? And also, what can we personally do about it? Let's look at the bigger picture of why this is all happening. Well, I don't know, some of you might know that we're actually in the process of ascension, which is the biggest energetic shift ever. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. And what it is, we're actually trying to globally, as spiritual beings, move up higher into a higher dimension. So far, we've been living in the third dimension for eons, okay? And we're actually trying to move up higher into the fifth dimension, which is much higher in vibration. And so what's been happening on our planet is that the vibrations have been slowly increasing since about, I understand, 2003. And the effect it's having on us is that, the higher in vibration our planet goes, the more it's having sort of a flush out effect on us, particularly on the unresolved pain we still keep carrying around with us. And what that is basically when we experience pain and we don't fully digest it. We don't fully digest the experience because it's too intense, because we can't deal with it in the moment. We kind of tend to shove it. And so therefore, we create this unresolved experience that we haven't fully digested, that we keep carrying around with us. Now, pain and vibration is actually heavy. And so with the vibrations increasing higher and everything become lighter, the pain is heavy. And so it's having this flush out effect on all the unresolved pain that we're carrying, and how it manifests itself is actually in the form of drama. And I'm sure you would agree with me that even politics, I've never seen so much drama around a presidency, around politics. I never have I experienced that. The same thing with the COVID-19 virus. I have not seen such chaos around a cold virus. And we've dealt with epidemics. I mean, influenza, and there's all kinds of different ones, and all these other, measles or chickenpox we've had in the past or whatever. They've never been such a, or at least I don't remember one, where we've had such amount of panic and fear and pandemonium and closing things off and all that stuff, right? Not saying that we shouldn't take precautions. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that it's like been very extreme, all these, this drama, I guess. And, the reason being, I believe, is because we're moving through this ascension process and because we're actually moving higher in vibration. And the higher vibration tends to embellish more of our fear, and so it's coming all to the surface, and it's coming to the surface for us to deal with it, basically, right? And so that's why I think there's so much chaos around this, And it's interesting because this is all going to get even worse, guys. Okay. And particularly for those people who are still in the third dimension. Okay. Some of us are moving up higher into the higher dimensions, into like the fourth dimension. And you know, we experience in the higher dimensions, you're more calm, more peace, less fear, less panic. We experience more, you know, individual power, more choice. We feel like we have more choice. We, you know, have more control, or we're more accepting of, you know, the chaotic things that are happening. We don't get as bogged down by them. And, you know, in the lower vibrations, we're experiencing fear. We're experiencing, you know, sometimes apathy, sometimes panic, sometimes anxiety and stress. And, you know, we feel like can't control things. We're like, we're out of control. Like, you know, there's something evil that's happening to us that we don't have any choices about, which is not true, incidentally. But that's how we feel. You know, we feel stuck in here. And that's in the low vibrations, in the third dimension. And it's going to get worse, you guys. It's going to get worse. And so what can you do about it, right? What can you do? How can you get into the higher vibrations? Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. How can you get up in the higher vibrations? Because that's where life definitely is better, okay? And you know, one of the things you may have noticed too is that as we're moving higher in vibration, or the planet is, and then we have our personal vibration, of course, right? But as the planet is moving higher in vibration, we can actually manifest things faster, right? So we think of things and they happen. And that's also part of the fact that we're increasing in vibration on the planet. But also at the same time, things like fear, you know, spreads faster. And perhaps it is because of that that also the COVID-19 virus spreads faster. Okay, it's because of the increasing vibrations, because that seems to be the difference between influenza and the COVID-19 cold virus, that it's actually spreading fast. And we are in the higher vibrations, we're turning faster, right? We're spinning faster. It's lighter in the vibration. So things are happening faster. And so that's why the virus may be spreading actually faster, right? So how does fear fall into this, right? Well, fear is very low vibration on the vibrational tone scale. And you may be asking, well, is it real, the fear? Yes, your fear is real, but is the threat real? Well, the threat is real too. However, it may have its own reality, because some of us who are higher in vibrational tone scale may experience it much differently than some of us who are lower in vibrational tone scale. Like, for example, you when you're in the low vibration tone scale, you know, you may actually attract the virus, whereas in the higher vibration tone scales, you may not. Okay, and so, you know, depends on where your tone scale is, right? So where is your tone scale? We'll go into that in a little bit. I'll put up a chart in just a minute. But so, and and you may say, well, she's full of it, right? But here's the thing, over my 15 years of healing practice, I've experienced this so many times, it's not even funny anymore. And what I'm talking about is, you know, someone may be looking at a certain reality, right? Like you could be facing a financial situation that's taking you down to your knees, where you're totally scared, terrified of what's going to happen. You like can't deal with it and so forth, right? You come to me and you have a healing done, okay? We heal the underlying pain that you're connecting with subconsciously as a result of this situation you're facing, okay? We heal that, and all of a sudden you're looking at that same exact situation with no fear at all. no panic at all, with complete power and control. And it doesn't phase you. And you can deal with it from a powerful standpoint, from being in your power. Same situation. And that's why in this day and age of ascension, of this higher vibration, you also experience, you're seeing this whole difference in divide, okay? Where some people may appear to be very scared of what's happening with the coronavirus, okay? Thinking that, well, it's deadly and this and that. So is the influenza if you look at the statistics. But, you know, and yet you're panicking because of the COVID-19. And there may be some people who are just mind boggled by what the heck this pandemonium is about, right? Because we're on different tone, we're on a different tone scale, or not, well, in a different tone on the same tone scale. And so some of us may be still in third dimension, others are in the fourth dimension, and we're seeing the reality completely differently. We're responding to it differently, even though it's the same exact reality. And this is exactly what I have experienced in my practice when I heal people, or when I help people heal. And it's absolutely fascinating phenomena, and I have experienced it myself in my own life quite a few times. So I know that this is all possible. And so we can actually live in two different dimensions, looking at the same reality, having a different experience with it, okay? Depending on where we're at, okay? So what can you do about all this stuff that's happening? Well, first of all, you need to raise your vibration. You need to go up vibration, because that's where life is actually better, okay? That's where you don't have that kind of fear, you don't have the panic, you're calm, you can see it from a different perspective, from much more objective perspective, and you won't attract that illness, okay, in the high vibrations. So you need to raise your vibration. So how do we go about raising our vibration, right? So there's a lot of people out there talking about doing meditations or being around people that are high vibe. And there's a lot of stuff you can do where temporarily it'll just lift your vibration up a little bit, okay? But then when you go home, you may drop back down to your tone, your natural tone level. And so I want to talk to you about what actually you can do to more permanently raise your vibration. And I'm going to put up this chart here real quick to kind of show you the different tones on this chart. So just bear with me. I am going to put the screen up. Okay, so here we go. Here's the emotional vibrational tone scale. So let's look at down here is shame, guilt, apathy, grief, and here's fear, okay, at 100. If you go higher, you got desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality. You know, quite a few people are right here around neutrality. And then we have willingness, gifts and reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Okay, so the lower you are down here, you can see where there is, it says suffering. This is where we suffer, you know, right around fear. Around up here toward courage, that's where we get by. Then up here toward flow, we have flow, basically things flow. In other words, you know, your finances are flowing, life is flowing, it's happening for you, right? Down here, by the way, we kind of feel more stuck, right? Also, up here is the ultimate consciousness, pure Tao, and so forth, right? And so where are you, right? I mean, so you can tell based on your emotion. See, we all have a natural tone scale somewhere where we're naturally at all the time, most of the time anyway. So you may know some people who are constantly angry. They're at this anger tone level, all right? So at this anger tone level, you know, no matter what you do or how, you know, how much you entertain them or what you do with them, they're always angry, right? They're at this anger tone level. Then you may know some people who are constantly at fear. They're living a totally fear-based life and they just constantly fear. No matter what, they're always afraid of something, right? Some people might be here in neutrality, just kind of neutral at a point here. You know, or you're experiencing always joy. Some people might be up here vibrationally on the tone. That's an awesome place to be. So where are you with your natural tone? Well, here's the thing how the tone scale works. So we have a natural tone. So say your natural tone is at anger, right? Just for the sake of it. And, you know, we can move up and down the tone scale based on something that happens to us. So like if we fall in love, we may temporarily jump up here, you know, into pride and courage because we, you know, it lifts us up, right? And we may actually be in a higher tone scale for temporarily. And then at some point we fall back down to our normal tone scale. On the same token, you know, we can actually get into a car wreck, right? And get really hurt and temporarily fall down here into, say, apathy, for example, or even lower into shame. And below that down here somewhere is suicide. And I'm sure you met people who after a major injury or something like that, they are actually down here at suicide. Now, after a certain time, you may bounce back up into where your normal tone scale was, okay? Now, sometimes we can actually permanently shift the tone. Like, for example, if you had a number of car wrecks, it could shift you actually permanently down into, say, grief or apathy, okay? Or someone who's in a neutral point over here could shift them into anger all of a sudden. Or say you experience a lot of losses in a very short period of time, and all that pain will drop you down into, from neutrality into sudden anger, and you're always angry, okay? Or you may initially be very much in sadness, in grief, and then, you know, you only go as high as anger. You never go back up to your neutral point. That's because you're permanently still carrying all that pain around with you. You haven't fully processed it. Some pains we don't fully process because we do carry around pain from even other lifetimes. So, but that's how the tone scale works. So what causes us to get up the tone scale, right? Because that's where life is actually the best up here, right? That's where we're dealing with stuff the best. That's where we don't have to fear the coronavirus much, and we don't fear it because fear is down here, not up here. And also we're not attracting it either. You know, people up here are less ill or not ill at all. You know, they have wonderful health. They have a lot of abundance. You know, people down here get more ill and, you know, they have lack of abundance and all that good jazz, okay? So how do we get up here, right? So I found one of the main things that permanently can swing you up this tone scale is actually, you know, healing. But I'm talking about the kind of healing that actually, you know, focuses on integrating your unresolved pain. I'm going to switch this off. Hang on a second. Here we go. That's the kind of healing I'm talking about that actually, you know, focuses on integrating your unresolved pain and basically transforms your pain into wisdom for the soul. And at the same time, what happens is you're actually getting rid of those sacks of potatoes that are heavy on your soul. And all of a sudden you start rising up in vibration, okay? Because imagine a hot air balloon. How does a hot air balloon rise, right? You throw out those sacks of sand, right? Imagine those sacks of sand represent your unresolved pain you carry around with you. Well, that's what keeps you down on the ground. So as soon as you start resolving that and doing that inner work that'll resolve it and transform it, integrate it properly, your experiences, then all of a sudden you start rising up with the balloon. And that's how you permanently rise in vibration. Okay? So that's the one way that I know that you can significantly rise, because, you know, you can try to be positive, you know, you can try to be around positive people, but it may rise you like maybe a point or a half point up temporarily, and then you go back home and you drop back down to where your normal tone level is. you know, whether it's anger or word, fear or whatever. And so, you know, consequently, you also, you know, are more ill at the low vibrations. So in order to deal with this coronavirus, if you're in the low vibration, if you got a lot of illness, is to actually help raise you in vibration, to do some healing, to do some proper soul integration work that helps you resolve the past unresolved pain. And that's stuff even from past lifetimes. Okay, we carry that around with us. Okay, believe it or not, we do. You know, and so that can really help you in rising in vibration. Now, I, from experience, know that when you also say you're at neutral level on the vibrational tone scale, and you now all of a sudden connect subconsciously with something in your past that involves pain. It could be, you know, through some trigger. That could be a color red. You walk by color red, it triggers something, and you subconsciously are connecting with something in your past that was painful. And all of a sudden, what happens with the tone scale, you drop down that vibrational tone scale. You also suddenly will experience stress, more fear, and guess what? Your immune system goes down too, right? So in that instance, all of a sudden you catch stuff. You catch a virus, the corona, or whatever other virus might be there. All of a sudden you're sick. You know, I know for a fact, and I've known this for years. Anytime I look at somebody who suddenly gets sick, I know they subconsciously connected with some unresolved pain, period. I just know that, okay, from my experience. And so that's how that happens. And so how can you protect yourself from that? Well, you can invest some money into actually doing some healing to help yourself rise in vibration, to get out of this whole fear thing, and also become less susceptible to being ill, okay? And experiencing more joy, more calm, more peace, more love, more abundance, more flow in your space and so forth, right? Or you can say it down in 3D and wrestle with it. And, you know, it is going to get worse, because the higher the vibrations on the planet rise, the more difficult it is going to be for you in the third dimension. Okay? It's just because it embellishes all that pain you're carrying. It's like bubbles with Alka-Seltzer and coming up to the surface, they're rising. And the higher the vibrations of the planet, the more it's forcing that stuff to come up and forcing you to deal with it. Okay, so it's more and more in your face. And that's how it's been happening. I mean, throughout, you know, the years since 2003. It's just that we're seeing more intensity of it now. And we're going to continue to see more intensity of it. So if you decide that you want to invest in yourself and actually help yourself rise in vibration and do some healings of your past, I'm happy to help you. Okay, this is why I'm here, all right? This is why I am doing what I am doing. This is why spiritually I've been compelled into this profession, okay, you will. Kicking and screaming, mind you, because I had to heal my own shit too to be able to get up here, all right, to help you. And so here I am. And, you know, if you decide that's what you want to do and you want some help with it, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Here's the beautiful part about it. I know everybody's isolated right now. It's okay, because I can do these healings with you via the internet or on the phone, either through video conferencing or over the phone, long distance. I can do it, you know, from state to state nationally. I can do it, you know, internationally. I've done it internationally. I can help you heal and get higher in vibration if you so choose. Okay, now you have a choice. Okay, now you have a choice. All right. And I can help you do that, you know. And for those of you out there who are spiritually awakening and are healers themselves, or want to heal, want to help people, want to help people with this ascension process, I offer training in quantum healing and how to do this inner work of integrating your unresolved pain properly and help others rise in vibration. This is my soul purpose, my divine destiny of where I'm supposed to contribute here, And so that's what I'm doing. And as part of the training, I have a package that's also called Heal the Healer, where we work on you, okay, etc. So if any of this interests you, please text me on my phone. I'm offering you here a complimentary or free 20-minute consultation with me on the phone. If you want to ask me questions and so forth about this, and you can text me, free consult to 303-638-2696. And I'd be happy to talk with you about what's going on and how I may be able to help you. So I hope this helped. Thank you so very much. And I wish you all the best.